Hello, SNA Assassinators. This is Super Ninja Austin back here with another podcast video, which is on September 28th, 2024, which is the tonight for AEW Grand Slam Collision, the Grand Slam edition of the show, which was pre-taped this past Wednesday. After AEW Dynamite Grand Slam version, Dynamite version of Grand Slam was on the air, and when it went off, they got ready for this show. And I was notified that this was pre-taped. I already knew that. Like in one of the matches that was kind of spoiled, which was the TNT Championship match, which we're not going to get into later. But yeah, this show, the overall show was very splendid, except for the main event and the trios match, which. And not exactly how I would expect it to do. Uncle SNA will do it. As what I was saying, touch it. As what I can say, as what I was saying, and but the main event match, it was very I'll say not disappointing, but it was pointless, I should say, basically. And not because I went on a dog on the match, in general, or even the guy that's what's that the guy that I usually make fun of. It's just that it I was saying, what's the point of putting Sammy Guevara in the position of getting a shot at the what's called the Continental Championship, but he's not going to win. But I'm not going to get into too much of a complaint, because maybe this could be all part of a plan on a future title match, perhaps. But we're just going to have to wait and see if hopefully there's a build up to this. But I'll be like, but if not, I'm going to be responding and complaining on the wrestling news, saying, what was the flubbing point? But anyways, what else I wanted to say? Oh yeah, but the good thing about the match, that it was really entertaining, but the wrong person won, and let's say Sammy disappointed us and failed us, but luckily it was not in the way of him saying the R word, much rather than being he did everything but the R word, but he did not succeed in what was planned for us, that wants to see him defeat Okada. But we're gonna get that later on. This is where we got. But right now, we're gonna talk about that much more later on about Okada and Guevara, because we're gonna start off with the opener, which was let's start off with Saraya and what's her name? Jamie Hayter, because it was a Saraya rules match, which we got what's her name? Harley Cameron repeat the start of the match with her telling the fans to shut up when they start chanting for Jamie Hayter. This is where we got Matt Menard started crying with laughter. This is where Harley Cameron we had decided that it. Oh no, she said it was actually a one more rule that she added. No, don't mess with the bag. Anyways, this is where he's we added one more rule, and that is the match does not begin until Saraya slaps the slag right off of slap the slag off of Jamie Hayter. That's exactly what she did. That's what when Harley Cameron grabbing onto her arm. That's where Jamie Hayter's okay, now you done that. She cornered her right to the upper right corner side. Hit the elbow drop right into the head. This is where then start stomping on her. This is where then we got Harley Cameron trying to attack her, because that's all part of the Saraya rules. No interference unless you're Saraya, which I was how fair is that? Basically, the rules do not be against her, much rather than her opponent, but only just that occurs to what's her name, to Jamie Hayter. This is where Jamie Hayter had to be 2-on-1 handicap. Luckily, for not that often, but it's where the distraction of Harley Cameron gave enough time to Saraya with her getting trying to go right up in the audience, but this is where she gets booted right into the face. This is where we got what's her name, Jamie Hayter, then sending her right back in the ring. This is where then we got This where we got Jamie Hayter then go up right up on the top, bro. This is where fans say Jamie Hayter, but once you try to get back in the ring, this is where we got. That's where the this is where we got Harvey Cameron to distract her, like, and there's nothing the referee can do about it because it's all part of the rules. This is where the distraction worked because it's where we got Saraya grab on the VCR and hits her right on the side of her head. And I was like, where did she even got the VCR from? From her basement in her family's house in the Knight's residence? Because we haven't seen VCR in nearly 20 years, like at least like when it comes to being on national television, I guess you could say. But yeah, this is where we got Saraya then start hitting. Hit her with a piece of the VCR right into her back onto the what's her name, the Jamie Hayter with Harvey Cameron holds on to Jamie Hayter. This is where then she start what's that? And this is where then she then grab onto the cord and start choking her to death, trying to be like the female John Moxley of AEW, I guess, trying to choke out all the oxygen in Jamie Hayter's system. This is where the referee's like, stop it, or I will DQ you. This is where Saraya's like, are you telling me what to do? Like, this is my match. I made up the rules. This is where the Saraya can try to go for a cover. She's like, I'll count you or I'll have you fired. And this is where the referee's like, okay, shrug emoji, won. But this is where then once he hit one, this is where we got Jamie Hayter immediately kick out. This is where she throws Jamie Hayter right into the outside of the bottom corner. This is where Harvey Cameron trying to help her out, start slamming Jamie's head right against the concrete floor, but her posing on her right on top of her in a very inappropriate way. This is where she sent Jamie right into the bottom right corner side, like if she's this is where if she was like a enhancement talent, I guess you could say. This is where they start choking, start slamming her right in the back of her head. This is where we got Harvey Cameron. Then hold on to her. This is where we got Saraya start hitting her with a pan, like a little cookie sheet, I guess you could say, like repeatedly, like about 4 straight times in a row. This is where we got Jamie Hayter to try. This is where she tried to do it once again for the last time. I'm not sure, I miscount, but it was like for the 4th or 5th time. But this is where Jamie Hayter dodges out of the way. She hits Harvey Cameron instead. That was just standing there. But this is where Jamie Hayter hits the German suplex. This is where both women. They went right to the left side, like that were attacking Jamie. Luckily, she was fighting for her life because it was only her that she had to fight back. But luckily, Jamie Hayter grabbed on to Harvey Cameron, throws her head first right into the barricade, but she gets hit her back first right with the steel pipe. This is where we got This is where we got, what's her name? Saraya threw Jamie Hayter running to some of the steel steps in the upper right side. This is where we got Saraya grab onto a black backpack, which it had probably dangerous content in it. But rather than this is where it was not like thumbtacks how I would expect it, or even Legos. This was actually like a pack of Hot Wheels, and I was like, am I watching AEW or watching my nephew play with his Hot Wheels? But this is where then we got, Saraya pull out a black bag of these Hot Wheel cars, try to go for right onto the table. This is where she attempts to go for a suplex on the Jamie Hayter. But this is where then we got this is where Saraya got countered by Jamie, and this is where she throws her right onto the steps right nearby in the upper right side. This is where then she boots her right to the face. This is where we got what's her name? This is where we got Jamie Hayter start stomping onto her, and then and this is where she grab onto the anti-diva. This is where she sent her right into Barry, right into the bottom right side. Well, actually, it's Tombstone because he sadly passed. But it was the end of 23. But this is where then she also throws Saraya right back in the ring. This is where Jamie Hayter's like I thought I taking care of her. But this is where she tried to go for a suicide dive. But this is where she hit a right strike in the face. This is where she like about to hit her with a draping DDT. But this is where we got Harvey Cameron start trying to distract the former AEW Women's Champion. Put her down or else. And this is where Jamie Hayter's like, oh yeah, like or else what? This is where she's like, I'm not nothing like I'm just bluffing, and this is where we got Jamie was like, yeah, that's what I thought. And then this is where we got Saraya trying to cannonball, but luckily, Jamie Hayter saw her a mile away, and she slammed her back first right onto the concrete floor. Harvey Cameron tried to swing try to swing at Jamie Hayter, but this is where she chased her right off. This is where Harley Cameron was like, this is where they're like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna do nothing. This is where then we got Jamie Hayter going up for the top rope. This is where then she tried to go right up on the go for a suplex right on the top. But this is where Harley Cameron tried to pull her down, like if she's going for a German suplex. And this is where we got that's pulling her down. But this is where what's her name? This is where we got Jamie Hayter was not allowing her to hit her with the suplex maneuver. That's probably from Germany. But until like we got Saraya hits her face first with the chair, that's where both women fell. They fell right to the table. Well, Jamie Hayter went right to the first one, while Harley Cameron got some of the impact. Even though she landed right into the table, that did not break in half, but she still got hit with the back of the Hot Wheels with it. But this is where then Saraya tried to attempt to go for a pinfall, but this is where referee tried to count the 1 and 2. And yes, it was in the ringside area, because it was all part of the rules for Saraya. I believe at least it only occurs to her, to be pinning onto the outside, because on one of the lists, on the page, that it states that no falls count anywhere unless you're Saraya, I believe, this past Wednesday when Harley Cameron explained the rules. But still, despite getting hit right to the table, it was Jamie Hayter that kicked out of it. Not now. Anyway, this is where we got Saraya then trying to say, okay, since I can't win by pinfall, I suggest you, Mr. Referee, counting her out. This is where she was at the count of 8 or 9, but Jamie Hayter, I think it was the count of 9, because the referee went went for 9, but this is where we got Jamie Hayter then ran back in the ring. This is where the referee was like, yeah, she's back in, but this is where Saraya then try to go for that DDT maneuver, that driver that Ridge Holland's starting to do on NXT. But this is where once you try to go for a pin, this is where we got Jamie Hayter got the right shoulder up. This is where we got Saraya's like, what? This cannot be right. That should have been 3. I always win with that maneuver. This is where Saraya's like, you know what? Forget it. I'm not going to make a big deal of it. This is where then she was about to hit her with either a power bomb or a power driver right through the chair as he flattened down right in the middle of the canvas. But we did not know what was for sure, because it's where Jamie Hayter then driven Saraya right to this wedge table that was placed right into the upper left side, slamming her back first, right into if she hits a reverse Samoan drop. That's where she threw caution to the wind. But this is where Saraya placed the steel chair. This is where we got Saraya then try to throw. This is where we got Jamie Hayter to pick her up, try to go for a tombstone pile driver, which he did. So it was like a sideways version, like how Kane did to Linda McMahon on back in 2003 when he was more raging Kane than ever when he took off his mask. That's how she did it, like with that sideways tombstone pile. This is where Jamie Hayter's like, ah! And this is where then we got Jamie trying to finish her off with that ripcord clothesline, which she did. She got the 1, 2, 3, and then it was a very satisfying ending, in this match. What were your thoughts on to this? And did you knew that Jamie Hayter was going to win this, despite the rules that Saraya made, with her having the advantage, because it was her stipulation, with the Saraya rules match, which it seemed like it's unfair for her opponents, but it's way too I'll say perky for her, because she gets all the advantages of doing whatever she wants. But despite that, it did not work in her favor, though, because Jamie Hayter managed to persevere from that and show that she's far better than her, if that's the term to use. But that's where we got Jamie Hayter start kicking the dust right onto her, until they move on, and they went on to Ricochet and Will Ospreay next. And do you think that the rivalry is going to continue between the two former AEW Women's Champions, or do you think they're going to move on with their own on the separate ways? Let me know down in the comments below. But it's where they show the replay of Ricochet. And I believe it's a part 2 Renee Paquette's sit-down interview with both Will Ospreay and Ricochet in the room, like to hype up their future international championship matches, where Ricochet was like, "Yeah, but it's where then we got like like I took a shot at this like 1,000 times before in wrestling, but AEW was a like in AEW is like a show and a company that give a chance to for guys like us to show the what we have, and then this is a totally different atmosphere where I was at previously, which is a wink wink nudge nudge situation from the other company he used to work for. And he even said in the interview, like if AEW existed a long time ago, he would have signed there instead of the company he was at. But this is where Rich said and continues like yeah, this is more. Like, and before I could even get a 360 look, the landscape of AEW really is like because we got Don Callis, Kyle Fletcher, Pac, like Mortos, and even you, Will Ospreay, had to say something. This is where the Ospreay's like, yeah, you. Because the reason why I said like how talented you are because you even forgot who you are, you forgot everything about stuff. Like that's a high issue. Like assuming that he forgot all his memories of from his past in this time in New Japan because he was brainwashed by the guy that got his position because of he was grinding on the boss's daughter, which I need to stop joking around right now. But jokes to the side for now. But all seriousness, this is where he then continues saying because you're finally feeling comfortable in what you're feeling because I finally refreshed your memory. And you understand. And again, but did you understand that term that you said, pressure? You don't know what the pressure you put yourself under. Now you're in the ring with me. Whatever you like it or not, as little bro, the best wrestler in the world right now. And there's nothing that you can change about it. Not on AEW, the 5th year anniversary show or Wrestle Dreams or any events, not even All In 2025 when we go to Arlington. But this is where we got the conglomeration that start heading out right after they showed the clip. And what are your thoughts onto this future match? Do you think that Will Ospreay is going to remain the international champion, or can we see a new champion at this Wednesday show? Which some tells me, if Will Ospreay was holding on to that title a little more longer than in this reign, I would assume Ricochet would win this. But for that particular reason, I just think that Ospreay's going to retain, despite Ricochet taking him over his limit. But we could expect a rematch down the lines, maybe at AEW Wrestle Dreams or even Full Gear. But yeah, make sure to stay tuned. What's next for this Ricochet versus Ospreay feud on AEW programming? But this is where we got Conglomeration coming out, and man, they did a super terrific job. I totally forgot how I would rate the women's match. I would give it about, I'll say it was just like how expected, and was really good. But it's not like it didn't beat the women. I'll say beat the likes of Orange Cassidy and Mark Briscoe and Kyle O'Reilly versus the Learning Trees, Chris Jericho, Big Bill, and Brian Keith. And also, Hangman Adam Page versus what's his name? Hangman Adam Page versus Jeff Jarrett. And I'll give the third place bronze trophy spot because the Conglomeration versus the Learning Tree and the Okada versus the Guevara match ties with second place with the silver trophy, while the golden trophy goes to the Lumberjack strap match, but which we're gonna get into just a moment. But we do have the match started with them not wasting no time at all. With Kyle O'Reilly going after Brian Keith, while Mark Briscoe go to Big Bill, and then the biggest rival of this feud, Chris Jericho, Orange Cassidy start going after him. Chris Jericho came out and he's like, "You still owe me $700, and I don't want it in change. Not no dimes, no nickels, and definitely not no quarters." And speaking of quarters, this is where Chris Jericho's like. This is where it's who wants to see me pull out a roll of quarters to start throwing it into Orange Cassidy's way? This is where he tried to do so, but this is where we got Orange Cassidy turned into a shadow. Yeah, like this time he hit him with a brick. Like I gotta hit him with my my brick like brick like and cinder block hands. Because I'm ready to kick his ass or something like that, and he's gonna pay the damn price. With him pointing at him, this is where he thought. Hits him in the headbutt right back. He's not giving the flub about what he does because he disrespected his teacher. This is where we got Kyle O'Reilly trying to go for a clothesline, but this is where he gets exploded suplex by that bad apple. Brian Keith tried to do the same with Orange Cassidy, but he elbow struck him right into the right side of his head. This is where we got Brian Keith to try to go for a suplex, but this is where we got Orange Cassidy flip right out of it because that's what he likes to do. I think he's trying to be his own version of Kevin Owens and what's her name? Willow Nightingale, like with him doing Stunt Dog Millionaire. Well, he cannot get suplex, but in the ring rather than on the top rope. This is where we got Kyle O'Reilly did stomp right into the face of Brian Keith and hit a discus elbow when he got him right up. Right, this is where Big Bill tried to go for a double choke slam, but this is where Kyle O'Reilly he started going with a wrist lock. This is where he started hitting some punches and kicks right onto the 7-footer. This is where Mark Briscoe came in and he tried to help out by sending him right to the outside with both O'Reilly and Cassidy Irish whipping him right to the top corner ropes. It was successful. This is where we got Kyle O'Reilly right to the right side onto the upper corner side. He hit the running knee onto Big Bill, like he was like big knee, like if he's his own version of Bryan Danielson. Yeah, he was probably like, yes! And this is where Orange Cassidy hit a suicide dive. I believe they're trying to pay tribute to the American Dragon and current AEW champion. This is where we got Mark Briscoe. Like, who wants to see me put this chair together, my boys? And then this is where the fans like, we want to see you put the chair up. This is where we got Mark Briscoe. That's like coming right up, and this is where then he put it up. And this is where then he tried to go for a stepping stool, but before he could even step foot in the chair, let alone being more near it than he already was. This is where Chris Jericho did kind of made me proud right here because he hit my finishing maneuver, but he tossed Mark Briscoe right into the chair that he was trying to use as a stepping stool to hit the cannonball onto the Learning Tree members, which that's kind of like my finisher, which is called the Death Valley Driver, but I call it the Assassin Valley Driver because it is the most dominating move in all of pro wrestling. This is where we got Chris Jericho like, hey, thanks, guys. Like he started waving right onto the fans. This is where we got Brian Keith that attacks Kyle O'Reilly, send him right to the bottom left side. Is where Big Bill's like, oh, you don't like this? Like, that's too bad. Like, you're going to have to get used to it because they're going to see plenty more of this. This is where they start continuing to beat up the baby faces under conglomeration. Is where until Mark Briscoe came in, hits a middle drop kick. O'Reilly did grab on the steel chair. This is where they try to put it up and try to get a guaranteed. Like, before like anybody could interrupt him, like including Chris Jericho, but too late because Jericho did turn him around, hits a code breaker with Mark Briscoe still had the chair in his hands, but it went right to his face somehow, so he got hit with a double impact, brutal impact, I should phrase that, like better, and it was a code breaker right to the chair. But it's where we got Orange Cassidy to start. Orange Cassidy plays Chris Jericho right here. With everything he got, this is where we got Brian Keith come in because he does not like it when his teacher gets disrespected. This is where he tried to do what he did again, but it went backfire because it wasn't guaranteed. Like just try to cry. That's where then Orange Cassidy Colorado. Are you sure it's your teacher and not your babysitter? That's where he's like. That's where he put him right on to. Yeah, I can. But this is where we got Kyle O'Reilly and Orange Cassidy put Brian Keith right onto Chris Jericho's lap. Before I can continue doing that, I'm gonna be right back and take care of something real quick. Excuse me for a moment. Mommy? Yeah. You want me to help you put the strainer? Okay, no problem. I do all. I watched everything. You're welcome. Anyways, assassinate. Let's get into the what happened next. It was this one, Orange Cassidy and Colorado started going for roundhouse kicks right to Brian Key. Started swift kicking him right with him on Jericho's lap. The same guy that he did not like when they disrespect him, that they want to kick their rear ends. Where Colorado then step right back with Orange Cassidy. They hit a double drop kick onto Jericho and Brian Keith, but this is where Big Bill came out like from the right side, hit the double clothesline right onto both O'Reilly and Cassidy. This is where Big Bill's like, yeah, like nothing's not gonna defeat us. The learning tree, and we're gonna remain as the better faction in this feud. This is where the fans are cheering them, giving him a big ovation because they were in his home state, in his hometown of Queens, because they were in Queens, New York tonight. Well, we'll pre-tape from Wednesday, but yeah, we're gonna pretend that it's live though. This is where we got Colorado. We start going for swift kicks right into the back of what's his name? Of Big Bill. This is where we got Orange Cassidy knocks him out, clean his jaw off, like by knocking his teeth out, and then he fell right onto the bad apple Brian Keith, which was probably a smart move from the conglomeration to take care of their Brian Keith problem when they started disrespectfully beating Jericho up. This is where Chris Jericho started hitting Orange Cassidy and Colorado with the steel chairs, with them in the midsection because there was no DQ, because this was a six-man. It was a six-man tornado tag team street fight match. This is where we got Chris Jericho didn't try to go for what's his name, Mark Briscoe, but this is where we got what's his name, Mark Briscoe. Then got a little bit of justice, and Cassidy cashes his receipts on Chris Jericho by hitting him with a drop kick right into his face with the chair in his hands. This is where Mark Briscoe's like, okay, like I can finally do my guarantee now. I putting the chair right into the corner. Aubrey didn't say nothing about him with the chair because even if he does use it as a weapon, like he's allowed to do so. This is where he uses it as a stepping stool, and he cannonball right on the Chris Jericho. This is where we got. This is where Mark Briscoe was like, yeah, like I know what to get. Like this is where we got. This is where he's like, all right, Chris Jericho, and then this is where he was like, you're gonna show what them boys are made of, and this is where he's like, but what I'm gonna do to you, this is where he started hitting some right hands on the Jericho. This is where he put the table up. This is where he kicks him right in the gut. This is where he tried to power bomb him. But this is where we got Chris Jericho flip right out of it. But this is where Mark Briscoe was this is where I believe was distracted by the Big Bill, was it? He knocked him with a right hand, but that's where he put it right back up because of the distraction. That's where Mark Briscoe was about to get. This is where Chris Jericho was about to get froggy by the former Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champion and Ring of Honor Champion, current Ring of Honor. This is where he looked like he's about to hit it. This is where we got Big Bill grabbing him out of nowhere, choke slamming him right to that same table. Chris Jericho moving out of the way right on time. He gets the 1, 2, 3. Winner of this match, the learning tree, Chris Jericho, Brian Keith, and Big Bill. And who I predicted on this match, it was I thought it was going to be conglomeration, but even though I predicted this wrong, this still was a really good match. That's why it's getting the second place spot, like tying Okada versus Guevara. But yeah, let me know about this in the comments below. What's your opinion on this matter? Like in this match right here, and do you think it was the match of the night, or that belongs to the lumberjack match or the main event? Let me know in the comment section right down below. But let's move on to the next slide. We got next up, it was Action Andretti taking on what's his name, Brody King. But yeah, not to say Action Andretti's weekend is not a pleasant one, I guess you could say. Much rather the opposite. Like it's very, I don't know what word to put it is. Like I was like very horrible. Like his weekends must be doing very horrible with him trying to hold it as much as he can, but you know how much of a Matt temper he has to the point that Now he does not care about like being like his old self as top flight. With the top flight, like let him keep losing because he's getting fed up of losses. Like he's a rookie, he's a former rookie that defeated Chris Jericho about a year or two ago. And he's gonna be losing to the guys like the House of Black and a couple other guys in the mid card division, right? Who could be more established than he's already have been and he's already is. But this is where we got Action Andretti like brought some offense in immediately from Brody King. Tripped him over on his knee, hit the middle drop kick. Action Andretti looked like he was about to win with the standing shooting star press. But once he tried to go over a pin, however, which that was a pretty horrible idea because we got Brody King lifting him up at one even. It's almost knocking him right into the referee. Action Andretti's like I don't know how he did that. Like I kind of figured he was gonna kick out of that maneuver because that's not exactly my finisher. This is where he hits. He tried to go for a running attack move. He did not know what to hit in particular. Big mistake from the young guy. This is where he gets double chopped by the chest by the Hell Dog of the House of Black. Brody King then picks up what's his name? Action Andretti. This is where then he tried to go for the power drop maneuver, but it's where he gets elbow struck by the face by Action Andretti. It's where he went right onto the upper left side, but once we got Brody King trying to attack Action Andretti, this is where he kicks him right in the face. This is where he goes for a springboard moonsault with Brody King trying to bulldoze him, but I think it was too late because he flipped him right over. This is where he gets. Everywhere trying to flapjack him, but this is where he blocks the punch. This is where Insecurity kick him. This is where we got Action Drake trying to go for a springboard crossbody, but he gets hit with an elbow strike right into the face. This is where then we got Matt Menard's like, oh my God. And then this is where then Brody King is like, I hear barking. Like with him, like when you're a dog in wrestling, like and fans are behind you, you just cannot help but to interact with it. And this is where he did so right here, just like if he was Braun Breaker. His was type of after he splashed right onto Action Andretti. This is where he started about to hit a cannonball, like which he face first right onto the bottom left side. This is where Brody King tried to go for a pin, and he unfortunately lost to Brody. Fortunate to Brody with the 1-2-3 winner of this match, Brody King. It may not be like a on the top 5 list because it was almost like a squash match, but at the same time, it really wasn't a squash match. This is where we got Leo Rush and Top Flight and Layla Bray came out there looking in again disappointment, like that Action Drake did not get the dub. This is where Brody King's like like starts smiling and taunting the team. This is where Darius Martin was shaking his head like like what a shame. And this is where they're like, let's collect what's his name let's collect what it was Action Andretti in the ring. This way, like, let's regroup and try to be a better team, like than we have been from the last weeks. And this is where, but before they can even get in the ring, this is where Righteous came out and ambushed Top Flight and what's his name? What's his name? Action Andretti. Yeah, not Action Andretti. I mean, what I'm talking about. What's his name? It was that Righteous and Lance Archer that came in and ambushed and attacked Top Flight and Leo Rush, like with them trying to scare away what's her name, Layla Gray. Like that's what exactly they did. This is where they started beating up the guys. This is where they started punching, stomping on them until Action Andretti came in and hit a suicide dive onto them. This is where they got in the ring. This is where Dante, Darius Martin, and Action Andretti and Leo Rush like come in. Like if you think y'all all three of that you can attack us from behind, like we would like to see you do that to our faces. But of course they wouldn't do that because they're sort of cowards. Like if I got the words correctly, but what are your thoughts on to this? Like with this Righteous and Lance Archer going to be in a potential feud with Top Flight, Action Andretti, and Leo Rush? And do you think this could be a potential heel turn for Action? Like with him getting very fed up about taking L's from the team, like he's going to turn on it and then he's going to start a new group of his own, like painted with a charcoal grill color black. Like it's going to be with his charcoal grayish black TNT championship to see who's his challenger going to be for the said title in the Open Challenge, which was none other than the King of New Japan himself and the legendary wrestler Minoru Suzuki, which I already been told this, like from a fellow YouTuber, that from their source that this was pre-taped, and yeah, this was a surprising return of the New Japan legend. And yeah, let's say he did a very tremendous job in this match. I was about to say like this. I was like, if the Sammy Guevara versus Okada match does not deliver in some capacity, like at least in the second place spot, I would give this match like that spot right here to what's his name? I would most definitely would give this spot like second place spot right on to where with the conglomeration versus the Learning Tree match. But I'll give this match the third place spot, like tying with the what's that match? The trios match with the Private Party and Commander with a K versus Willer Yuta, Claudio Castagnoli, and Pac. But this is where Jack Perry's like, oh, that's great. Like, but how I'm gonna put him away? Like, because this guy's very difficult to fight. But he's like, but I'm not giving up just yet because you don't know me because I am the unbeatable scapegoat. This is where Minoru Suzuki was like, okay, little boy, like unless you want to be considered as a little man, like because you're trying to look like one right now, but I still see that old Jungle Boy still inside your system right now. This is where then Jack Perry then respond like, "Stop calling me Jungle Boy." This is where then he try to push himself, but this is where Minoru Suzuki went right back and shove him. But this is where Jack Perry was keep trying to hit him with forearm strikes, but Minoru Suzuki was not going anywhere. Like this is where Jack Perry started repeatedly. These are like I cannot feel anything. Like keep doing it until I feel something. This is where like come on, like and this is where every time like how about now, like raw. But this is where then Minoru Suzuki's like, you must not be doing it right because like you're supposed to do it like this. And he did a demonstration. He knocked down what's his name, Jack Perry so easily that I get face first right onto the camera. This is where Minoru like, yeah, like that. And this is where then fans start cheering like, yeah, teach him a lesson that he'll never seem to forget. This is where then Minoru Suzuki like, come on, hit me some chops, give him some chops, which the name General was not happy, but he definitely was not happy of the King of New Japan because he started hitting more devastating. But we gave Jack Perry like a pass of the ninth place spot of the night. But this is where it gave Minoru the number one spot. But Jack Perry tried to go for second and then third with Minoru Suzuki still not feeling anything. He's like, come on, like keep hitting me with chop. And this is where then Minoru Suzuki's like, I still got to like keep going and going. This is where then he's chop. This is where once he tried to hit him like with the ninth chop, this is where Minoru Suzuki went right back. He's like, and that's what he called a chop. Like here, but let me show you. And he didn't have to do more than one chop to prove his point because he did one single chop so hard to the point that I wouldn't doubt that Jack Perry's heart would stop beating. And I'm not trying to say that to wish death upon the scapegoat. I'm just saying like it was so deadly. He hit it so hard. Like I wouldn't doubt that he would have made Jack Perry had a heart attack with that chop, which he did it again. I was like, how is Jack Perry surviving from those chops? And those sound very painful and look like a chop of a killer, like more than Gunther was. When Gunther was getting more envious to the New Japan legend, like with him right after he did that, he Irish whipped him right to the upper right side, put him right to the face, snap mirrors him, started twisting him right to his neck, and started going for sideways neck block. But John Pierre was like, all right, like don't go overboard when you need to. This is where he started hitting the finger. Like there's some rules still. At the end of the day, this is where Minoru Suzuki is like, okay, like I'm listening, like. But I'm doing it like what the limits are because I really want to be TNT champion or any. I want to be I want to be any kind of AEW championship because that's the only belts that I've yet to win in my wrestling career because I don't want to go to that other company that is trashy, even though they don't have their trashy former chairman. But this is where we got Minoru Suzuki start going for bending fingers and start going for a abdominal stretch, like trying to annoy one European wrestler that's currently working over there to another one like that love bending people's fingers, being known as the bruiser weight, I guess you could say. But it's where we got Minoru Suzuki start bringing in some punishment onto the scapegoat that loved crying people rivers. Is where he started alley-oop and slamming, and then some flat slams. Is where then he tried. This is where he tried to go for a sleeper, but this is where then he turned into a pile driver onto Jack Perry. But it's where the what's his name? Jack Perry then hit a body drop right onto Okada. This is where he's sitting right to the bottom of the rope. This is where we got Jack Perry's like, okay, like it's lights out for you, like Mr. Like lights out for you, self-proclaimed king. And this is where this is where then we got Suzuki did not appreciate that. This is where he started hitting with the arm bar. He started twisting his arm, started bending it right back. This is where the Jack Perry's like, my arm, like this is where then he drag him right to the bottom corner side ringside area. This is where then he Irish whip him right into Barry tombstone, the upper right. This is where then we got Minoru Suzuki was about to hit him with a steel chair. This is where then we got Minoru Suzuki start. This is where then he hits one shot with the top part right in the back. And I understand how Aubrey Edwards did not DQ him for that. Like G Ryder just gave him a warning, which while snatching the chair in her hands, was like, "I'm just gonna I'm gonna let you go with just one time. Like, just don't do it again." Which that did not make no sense. Like, what was that all about? Like even for getting hit with a chair, because he should be an automatic DQ. That's another botch right there, which I'm gonna have to add on to the list of things that was to the face. It's where he throw him right to Barry's. I'm not Barry. The Simba. The Simba's right, the upper right, the upper right side is where he's trying to fall down. Jack Perry didn't hit him with his version of the Psycho knee. He gets the 1, 2, 3. Still, your TNT champion, and this is where he tried to do a post match, continue a beating onto Suzuki with a in a post match. This is where we get to see him. I believe he sustained an injury. With the scapegoat that loved crying people rivers as the next challenger for the TNT championship. And do you think he could dethrone Jack Perry, or do you think it's going to be somebody else totally different? Everybody's trying to even hug you. This is where they did so, which that was a pretty cool moment for both of the Japanese stars, I guess you could call them, like with programming. But this is where we got Pac and Claudio Castagnoli along with Willa Yuta came out to take on Private Party and Commander with a K. And it was like exactly which was Minoru Suzuki versus Jack Perry. They both get the Bronze Trophy Award for the third place spot of the best match of the night. This is where Claudio Castagnoli was letting. This is where we got. It was Pac that was letting Mark Quinn have it, like hitting him unnecessarily more than he needed to the referee had to get him off of him. This is where you want to turn? Like, yo, what the hell's your problem? You're not like the same Willer as we know. Where then we got this is where he tags in Claudio. This is where Claudio started going for forearms and chops. This is where he started hitting some chops right into the chest. This is where the Private Party member. This is where Willie Yuta just what I got myself into. I never thought that Claudio nor Moxley would ever do this to our friend. And this is where we got Claudio to start tarnishing and torturing any of his allies. This is where they send him right back in the corner. This is where he then tags in Pac. This is where he starts stomping on his hands. This is where the referee's like, hey, you're hanging on to the rope. You better stop it or else I will DQ. He's naive person in all of professional wrestling. This is where, but he did caught a half a glimpse of Claudio stomping on the what's his name's back. This is where then we got what's his name? That's where we got what's his name? Pac to start. How many times I tell you, Brian was never your mentor, and he's not even your friend. Was both saying you're eventually gonna have to help us with this Private Party and Commander problem. This is where Pac tried to run up onto Mark Quinn, and despite Claudio holding on to him, Mark Quinn boot him right to the face, like because he did not know what move to hit him. That was gave enough advantage to Mark Quinn, and Mark Quinn spared Wheeler Yuta not attacking him because he knew he was not going to do nothing about it. Just to the Pac's face. This is where then he super. By the way, I think they kind of botched the spot because Claudio bounced right onto the ropes and back in the ring rather than bouncing right over the ropes and get out of it. With what's they making him to, get out of there through the middle ropes, Isaiah Cassidy. And he starts face. I was like, yeah, this guy is low key like Montez Ford in AEW, I guess you could say, like with his athletic and hyperactive wild enthusiasm. This is where then. But it's where like he would try to go for a pin, and he might have would have gotten away with this win. Like for 1, 2, 3, name was Claudio, of course, which everybody like calling him the Swiss Cyborg. Some like calling him the Swiss Superman. But yeah, Claudio Cassidy always stop Isaiah Cassidy's pinfall. This is where it is like tag me, Pac. It is where it's like not a handicap match. It is where it's like now. And he's like, as a matter of fact, like I need you into this round with me being a legal man. Well, like I'm no longer the legal man because I'm tagging. It's where he tags him and slap him in the chest. And he's like, okay, like you have no choice but to get in the ring. He's like, now you better do as I ask, or you will. A dozen spins, I should say. And then we got Matt Menard even was saying, do it, like, along with Claudio saying, do it, like, do it, Wheeler, do it, like, it's your chance. And this is where the Matt Menard's like, do it, Will, do it. Like, and this is where, like, Will's like, nope. He turned around. He was like, nah, like, I don't think I can do it. This is where Claudio and Pac were getting ticked off. Like, don't think you're turning on us, are you? Like, he was like, you better change your mind or else. And this is where then Will, he was like, or else what? Like, is that supposed to be a threat? This is where fans are chanting for you. Something to me, see why I don't do this. Claudio dodges out of the way, but he pop up Mark Quinn and then Mark Quinn to try to go for a dive right on the Pac, which he was. This is where he hit the most devastating move, and awesome with this sideways version of the angle slam to slam him back first. And this is where the Wheeler Yuta was like, okay, you want to see a totally different side of me? Like, I'm gonna show you. This is where then he hit that. This is where he started biting on the fingers of Isaiah Cassidy. Isaiah Cassidy. This is where he started biting him. I was like, right to the left side of his shoulder. This is where then he hits that double underhook submission lock, like Bryan Danielson used to do, or he still does. Pac was so proud of him. Like if Jay Werder was his two dads. This is where they start clapping and applauding to him, like with him making Isaiah Cassidy tap out and retaining their AEW Trios Championship, which I thought for sure, like, but unfortunately for the. For Isaiah Cassidy, Mark Quinn, and Commander with a K, like they did not celebrate. Would you just wear a trio? John Moxley, of all I care, or even his assistant that thinks she's a man herself, which is what's her name, Marina Shafir. But what are your thoughts on this? Do you think he's gonna leave Marina Shafir, and then do you think you're gonna find a replacement of a trio champion, or do you think John Moxley is gonna fill in those shoes, like with Wheeler Yuta potentially leaving? CC members are doing like to Brian, like just to trick him, like only for Wheeler Yuta to say I was only pretending to do this and pretending I had some sympathy for you, only just to make you fall for the trap, like so, like, and you can trust me, so we can take you out for good and make John. I'll say if that's the case, then that means Bryan Danielson gonna have no choice but to retire. But I don't know what to say about on that matter. In the arcade that was nearby it, and then they were playing some gold cards. Like right after they were training, like they're showing the hype up the Young Bucks and maybe even then potentially win the titles. But I would not mind to see Truth Magnum and Turbo Floyd win those tag team championships. Like as much as I like to see somebody who I was very excited who's going to dethrone Roman Reigns for his title, like the former, what AEW's doing right here with the Young Bucks, like they play such a great heel to the point that you can see that I ain't pretending to hate the Young Bucks when I really don't, because I'm a massive fan of Magnum and Turbo Floyd, like to get opportunity because they've been so underrated for many weeks now, like if not months. Like tag team champions, like by 2025, which I think that's what's going to be happening. Like whether if they beat the Young Bucks or somebody else, like the Grizzled Young Veteran, any of their unexpected matches of them getting wins after wins after wins, and that's what AEW needs to do. Like starting like next week, right? With these hype videos, they need to fight somebody that's legitimate and not a tag team match. Nothing hologram. We got what's the name? Jalistico, like taking on Beast Mortals in a triple threat match, which is very rare for any wrestling promotion to do. Like unless they have like a championship on the line, or even some or a number one contenders match or whatever the scenario may be. But you know, like sometimes it don't have to be like for an achievement. Like it could just be for like just to have a match thrown like onto the show schedule, like the three guys like want to fight the two of them all at once, which that's what the triple threat rule is for. I know add a win on their record as well, but this is where we got hologram and Jalistico like going splash until they start working together with and I'm trying to attack Jalistico, but he elbow strike him while I'm not command hologram Hurricane Rana's the beast. Right on to Jalistico. He super kicks him. That's where they try to go for another double team, but this is where we got Jalistico trying to trick him by trying to attack him. But this is where it was all just a trap because when the hologram tried to close on him, he ducks. It hits a scathing Hurricane Rana right to the bottom left side. This is where he tried to close on Beast Mortos, but this is where he dodges out of the way. Hit the sling blade crucifix slam. This is where we got what's his name? Hologram going for that sideways ring tossing arm drag. He gets Hurricane Rana right by what's his name? But he gets Hurricane Rana by Jalistico. This is where then we got a hologram that slide right onto the left side. This is where he's about to go for a rebound roundhouse kick, but this is where he made it right onto the right corner side apron. This is where he hit the head onto Jalistico. He jumps back in the ring. He Hurricane Rana's Beast Mortos, but he does a handstand cartwheel front flip. This is where then. But this is where we got Jalistico try to go for Hurricane Rana right onto the hologram. But this is where he got right up on his feet. This is where we got. This is where we got Beast Mortos to try to go for a surprise roll up onto what's his name to Mortos. This is where like the same with hologram, but it was just like a surprise roll up part. This is where we brought a surprise roll up party. I mean to say a surprise roll up contest, I guess to say. But this is where they start trying to close on each other like in the pattern, but they both keep ducking until we got Jalistico and hologram. So going to but this is where it gets called right onto the middle. This is where we got hologram to try to take it. Where he knew it gets choke slammed. This is where we got Jalistico. He tried to go for an insecurity kick around the Beast Mortals, but surprisingly he ducks. This is where he accidentally hits hologram. This is where we got Beast Mortals there. The attacks, what's his name? Jalistico, but he ducks out of the way. This is where he trying to go for. That's where we got Jalistico running into the right corner onto Beast. This is where then we got Jalistico. This is where then hologram. Like that's what I'm talking about. This is where he then start bringing. He brought him back in the ring. This is where he tried to continue his fight right inside the square circle. This is where we got but this is where they eventually went on the outside, like with both of them taking care of back in the ring. This is where he got thrown instead. This is where we got the drop. This is where we got Beast Mortals. Then they got the 1, 2, 3 for that meddling hologram. This is where, but this what's the name? This is where we got what's the name? Right into the left side is where we're trying to Irish with one of them, and this is where he got flipped right over, which I believe was Beast Mortals. This is where he got what's his name, a hologram into an electric chair position, but this is where he let go of a hologram because it's where we got PJ Mask on the way. Same way. They say today. Mm-hmm. Huh? But anyway, this is where we got Beast Mortos. Then surprisingly got him right up on with somebody off the top ropes. This is where we got Jalistico. But this is where he gets hit with a Spanish fly. This is where we got Beast Mortos hits a double clothesline right onto. Is where we got. But this is where we got hologram to try to go up and try to fight his Larry. Jalistico then try to go like, then I know my win, test is where he picks him right up, throws him right to Beast Mortals between his legs with hologram's head between it. Is where we got That's where we got Beast Immortals is like struck him. Like I know his mother. Like it's where the Canadian Destroyer. As you can see, where we got or the Mexican Destroyer, I should say. But this is where like this is where it did not work. This is where we got what's his name? A Springboard Canadian Destroyer, but this is where it gets flipped right over right into the left side. This is where then he over a crucifix pin came out and then attacks a hologram. This is where then this is where Jalistico and this is where we got Dulistico and what's the name? Beast Mortals help him out. This is where they triple team beat him down. I was like, yeah, they revealed that they're a dominant trio. This is where we got, and it was none other than Chris Statlander. This is where we haven't seen you in weeks. Like, and where the hell have you been? Well, she didn't say it. But she's like, the last time we saw you there, like last time we saw you in the AEW appearance. Like, but she's not the only woman that's been missing on AEW programming since AEW All Out, which I'm not sure if I should get into at the moment. But this is where we got Chris Statlander. Immediately answered the question. This is where she's like, but what do you want me to do about? Like, you want me to complain about it, about my spot like being taken away from me? You want to like. Like you're going to be questioning, you got me here, so you're questioning the why, how, and where exactly where I'm getting all the strength from, like of winning all these matches. Like all the people like talk about is the loser, unfortunately. So you want to look me at the camera and beg for an opportunity, like, oh, pretty please. And you're like, sorry, Lexi. Like, I guess I'm an odd woman out here, like, because I'm not just insecure here. Like, I know who. Like I know who I am and I know who what I do. And if you notice me, like I've been trying to bring women's wrestlings back up like from the dead and resurrected and put it right back on the map, like plenty others are doing on AEW. But this is where Chris Statlander did kind of assault Lexi Nair by touching her without her consent, like even though it's on her head. But I still consider that like assaulting, like what they're saying, like there's nothing that you could think about, like it's something like this before, like have you, like it's something that's different, like see, like in the meantime, like every woman in AEW should be saying, like, thank you, Stat, because you face me, like you other company, like with her saying thank you as their catchphrase, and I was like, what is up with that being like a women's catchphrase in wrestling? Just because they were like the pioneer of that said company. But yeah, let me know about this in the comment section right there. For women's wrestler, even though she's kind of legendary, let me know in the comments. That's where we got the Maximum Male models, not Maximum, the MXM collection. I totally forgot about their names. I don't know how I totally forget this. Where we got Monster starting on the microphone. That's where it's like. We got this where we got Mansoor. This where he was like ladies and gentlemen, like in other genders or something, like the high pitched scream. This where we got what's his name? This where we got what's his name? Mansoor Mason said like he got the what. This is where Mason Madden didn't say like he said like he has he's the ultimate suave Mansoor, and this is where the Mansoor then it responded my back and Mason Madden he is the height of fashion like. And then Mason was like, yeah, together, we are the MXN collection. And this is where they did the fingertip touch. With Matt Menard was very happy to see them and being excited, saying like, yes, like I like these guys. I like these guys as well, like because these guys are very entertaining and hilarious. And like have a potential of being the top tag teams in any promotion, like whether if they became tag team champions over here or on TNA or that other company that AEW don't want to talk about. And then I did not tongue tie right there. But this is where we got. I can think of two lie on it. Like it said that Max is the best wrestler alive. Like it have no more. Like he calls it what's his name Mason was like yeah, when we reminisce that because like we exposed to a climax like to our little fashion show. It is a month of the. And he's like, we're gonna show like not just anyone like it's gonna be wearing our very awesome designs but we English speaking owl, like if you like from the one from that Winnie the Pooh series, but this where then he said like further ado, there's one guy that was wearing a hat with some golden pants with a dress black shirt, like with a Mansoor flat mask thing, like holding up like in front of his face so he'll recognize his face. Like which his name was what's his name? Felipe. And then there was the next guy that wore a ski suit, the swamps of a Matterhole, like which it was wearing like a with the color black. His name was Antonio, like wearing the fur with with when wearing a mace like. In the club because I can like it is like and look at these very handsome male models. This is where I believe these were like new and hand started from somewhere. It is where we got Mason's like again. Now you got additionally flood. All been waiting for why y'all came here for our most special fashion segment on tonight's Grand Slam Collision. It's like with yeah, like this is where we got Mansoor to continue saying we look around the world to see the finest like body that we can find, like the greatest months that we could just witness. Like we found him in the forest on the outskirts of Dusseldorf, like from Bride of Russia, like it is Germany's greatest export. Like ladies and gentlemen, like we. And it is where did we And then this is where then Mansoor then clarified that that's French translates in French of piece of ass.